like
go ahead.
No, I feel like also I agree with you. Having a family will be harder for you to move, but at the same time, if you go to let's say a poor country than America, with your dollars you can live quite well, and if you have a job that's still like more work, you could live a really comfortable life in those countries compared to America. Because I've seen a lot of YouTubers where they have a remote job and they go to like a country and they work there and they make money there, and the houses are so big, everything is so cheap. Personally, that's what I plan to do, like go to another country and work remotely, because my job allowed me to do that. So I was thinking about doing that, but I'm not sure which country yet.
Yeah, I had a buddy that lived in the Philippines for 3 years, and he said the cost was about $12,000 US a year. You know, and you compare that to the $80,000 to $100,000 that you would need to really live comfortably in America, in most American cities. So, you know, a lot of ex-military, they tend to go to Southeast Asia to retire again if they don't have a family that they like. All his kids are, not all of them, but most of his children are adults. And so it's going to be easy for him to just pick up and go. Plus, he has a daughter in the Philippines, you know, because that's, you know, he was over there 3 years. So, yeah, you know, but there are places you can go, especially if you're a computer programmer, which, you know, that's something I'm doing now, is teaching myself how to code, because, you know, it may be a situation where I need to leave this country because of, you know, some conflict within the country. You know what I mean? But, you know, I have a daughter, so I have to be careful as to, you know, where I choose to take her. So, of course, I'm going to be looking at how the women are treated and such, you know. And so, yeah, you know,
But
I've got my options open.
But I mean, if you move to another country with your daughter, you could give her a good education too, because I'm sure private schooling in those countries are not as expensive as private schooling in America. I think personally, I want my kids to go to private school because I went to private school, and I think it's a better education than public school. But not everyone can do it, of course. But yeah, I think personally those South Asian countries sound nice. But I want to go like to Cambodia or Laos, those places, or Vietnam. You know, I like nature, so I feel like anything with like beautiful nature, I would love to go.
Yeah, and be careful of nature over in those countries. You know, they got snakes that kill you in one bite.
I'm not scared of. I am. I lied right there. I'm scared of snakes, but I'll just have someone to kill all the snakes. I don't know, like Saint Patrick kind of vibe.
I do want to say this. There are some countries, West India, South India. There's a woman, either I don't know what they call her. I don't know what they call mayors over there, but she's a mayor of a small estate. She let women beat men, basically. They can get away with anything that she does to a man, a woman does to a man over there. So it's certain places that women do thrive, I say, but it's always in a bad light. Like, if we did a reverse, it would be more light on it, but you really have to look for those.
I'm thinking, though, because there's always balance. If women are allowed to do such things to men, you know, on a physical level, then what freedoms have they given up to be allowed to do that? So there's always a balance, like, you know what I mean?
I agree. Physical harm should not be allowed for anyone, any gender. But again, personally, I would never go to a country alone. I would go when I get married with my husband, or like a man, because I do believe that man should like be the leader, whatever. So I personally would not go to a country alone. So it's okay. I'm not scared for myself.
Yeah, That's what I mean. Black women who travel to places like Thailand and stuff, like nobody messed with them. One African American woman, I was reading her blog, and she went to Thailand, and she didn't understand the culture. I could tell she didn't do any research, because she went into one of the discos, and with her friend, female friend, and they were talking to the guy. They were trying to buy drinks, and they weren't allowed to buy any drinks. And the men that were in there were trying to buy them drinks, but then they got escorted out. And she thought like, oh, they escorted me out because I'm black, this, that, and the third. And what she didn't realize is a lot of the discos are owned by these companies over there in Thailand. And, prostitution is legal there. So the girls, that a lot of the girls who are in there, not all the discos, but a lot of discos, they have girls in there that work for these companies, the same company that owns the disco, and they're prostitutes. So if you have single women in there talking to men, and they may take money away from the business. So they tend to like, hey, they escorted them out, and those men may have thought they were prostitutes. So they were protecting those women also, But other than that, she didn't have a bad experience, But she was just visiting. She didn't live there, and that's why I always tell people who travel. Like a lot of women, want to travel, and they say, and they feel that they traveled, they've learned a lot. And it's like, yeah, you'll pick up things here and there, but just because you travel to a country and visiting a country, or visiting a city, it's not the same as living there. It's night and day.
I agree 100%. I agree. Like I went to Morocco with my mom last year, and you clearly tell that there's difference between a tourist and someone that lived there, especially because of COVID, and because Morocco relies so much on tourism. Yes, tourism. You could see the struggle, and I've seen so many people like beggar children. I never see that in my life before, and I was so shocked, and I was like, life is so different. But there were people that lived there, like expat or immigrants, like French people, English people living there, and they were like, oh yeah, life is here so easy, everything is cheap. But I made friends with some locals, and they were telling me how it's not. And I was like, and most of them couldn't even speak the language. Like, of course, you can speak French there, but there was a lot of English people that couldn't even speak French or Arabic. So I was like, how do you live here? I was really confused. And they had, we have this person that translates for us. He works for us. Everything is so cheap. Oh my God. I kind of felt bad for them.
Yeah, that's how it is. Things are they're so poor. Like the people who live there are so poor. It's easy to just to hire a guide, who can translate, and it's the same thing with the Dominican Republic. There's so many poor people there that you don't have to know Spanish to go out there and just kind of live it up. If you've got the money, you just hire somebody to, hey man, I pay you to show me around. You got to do is translate and take me to the good places, and and you're good. My buddy, he lived in the Philippines for 3 years, and a lot of the Filipino people, they speak English, and that tends to be the case in a lot of major countries. But he just never learned the language. But I always caution people, like, you're gonna live in a country like that, you should learn the language, because when you learn the language, you learn the culture also, because they're connected. So there was a lot of things he ran into that he described, and he didn't understand why things were the way they were. And I'd never been to the country, but because of my research, I knew that I had to explain to him, well, this is the culture, this is how this happens, and this is what they do, and you're a foreigner, so that's why you weren't allowed to do this, and those kinds of things. But like, I was just thinking in my head, like, buddy, if you took the time to learn a little bit of the language, you would have, understood a lot of these cultural differences.
I agree, but I have to go now. It was nice to talk to you. I'll just follow you. But goodbye, everyone.
All right. Take it easy. That's probably one of the most cordial conversations I've had on this app with a black woman.
I had my first one last night, legit.
Damn, my man made this room and bounced. I think he made this room because there was another room we was in and there was a discussion going, but somebody boomed the room like right in the middle of it, you know? And but the way the women were, they just didn't understand, that, black men are not seen, we're not seen as valuable, and as men in general are just not seen as being valuable in America. But black men are not seen as, of having any, inherent value, So it's like you have to have money and all this other stuff. We're just seen as utility, and so even if we marry or whatever, we get married, we're doing good, but as soon as our utility declines, if we lose our job and even if we get another job but it's not making as much money and this, that, and the third, even that marriage can end because of that, and it's not something that African American women want to admit is a real thing.
Most people on here always talk about statistics. I don't like that. What have you been through? Like, most statistic that I hear, black man this, black man that. But do you actually see that going on, or are you just running by them?
When people are young, in their 20s and stuff like that, and they go by statistics, then I know that they haven't seen it. But at my age, I've seen, the statistics have backed up what I've seen. So what I thought at one point was anecdotal, I turned to the stats and like, holy shit, this is not just something that I'm observing, so it's like the country's observing this. So yeah, stats and polls are important, but they can be used incorrectly also. You can, you can easily draw the wrong conclusion, off of stats, you know what I'm saying? And so, just like, looking at the stat that 80% of divorces in the African American community are initiated by the women. Now, there are black women who look at that stat and say, well, that's because there must be something wrong with you black men. And of course, black men are saying, no, there's something wrong with you guys. You're initiating these divorces. So, yeah, like stats are up to interpretation if you don't have something, more detailed as far as what's going on. Like, why is this happening? To me, stats are a thing where, like that particular stat I mentioned, is to me, it's like, okay, we have to ask some questions. What's going on in our community? Why is this happening? Like, don't just make up your reasoning without having looked further into it.
No, it's definitely not. I got two homeboys. I'm 24. I got two homeboys that just got married last year. If those do not go right, that's when I believe the stat for most stats for real.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like, you guys are not even part of those stats yet. That's because you're too young. So I'm 47. You know what I mean? So, like, those stats, when you look at the years, from this year, whatever, like, I'm in that group, right? Like, so those divorces divorces that happen, like my buddies are part of those statistics. You see what I mean? So, yeah, we do have to take a step back and look and see what's going to happen next. You know, they could do polls and stuff and see how people answer, and, you know, kind of, you know, and through conversation, you kind of get a feel of, okay, what's the younger generation doing? What are they learning, you know, from our generation and beyond? But, you know, so I was pointing out at one point in time to somebody that I believe that we may see an uptick in marriages in the black community, because right now, you know, as far as we know, it's on the decline, you know, and they say, well, young black people not getting married. It's like, well, we don't have stats for that yet, you know, so it's a wait and see kind of situation.
I say it's not going to go up because I'm one of them people that don't want to get married because of what I hear, divorce. And I'm only going to be loved for my money. That's something I say. I'm only going to be loved for my money or what I do for them. And women just going to leave me once I stop doing certain things or I fail at certain things.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, I encourage people to look at, it's like, don't limit yourself to, you know, not just, you know, I don't know if you know, date other than African American women, but don't just depend on American women, period. You know, because you get, you know, even first generation American women, they get indoctrinated. They go to American universities and get these ideas indoctrinated into them, and, you know, broaden, you know, your playing field. You know, look in other countries, you know, and see how they treat their men. You know, see if they respect, you know, see if they respect marriage. You know, see if these women truly respect marriage, where they're like, you know, I'm going to be there no matter what, especially if there's children involved. You see what I'm saying? You know, to better your odds. And, you know, that alone will change how African American women move and think. Because, you know, it may sound harsh, but nobody's looking for the African American woman, you know, en masse. Nobody's looking for the African American woman except, you know, the black man. And if we stop looking for the African American woman also, you know, they're going to feel that. You know, you'll see the stats will be, okay, black men are getting married at a higher clip, but African American women are still unmarried. And when they start to see when that stat starts to become true, you know, then they're going to have to change how they move. All those stereotypes and the nonsense that they like to say, they're going to have to put that to the side and start looking at the truth, you know, and start really listening to what we're saying. You know, they don't listen to us when we tell them that we're not marrying out at this large rate, but they don't want to believe the statistics either, you know, because we still predominantly marry African American women.
When it's definitely like, I got this quote when people start saying this dumb shit. I hear you, but I'm not listening to you.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that hear, but they're not listening.
Exactly. So I pick and choose what I want to listen to. I hear you. Where you say, black man do this, black man do that. But I'm not listening to you because I'm a black man. I know what I'm doing. I know what my group of black men doing.
Yeah. And so, like, yeah, I ran into that like a couple of weeks ago, where I brought up the situation, asked the question about black women not defending black men against other black women. You know, I said, I don't know what's going on with that. You know, and I made some examples of when, like, you know, like a feminist comes into the group and they get on stage and they spout all kinds of negative stuff about black men. And when they do that, black women tend to be totally silent. You know, I've only run into two on Clubhouse. I've only run into two women who shut that shit down. Two, you know, and the other black women, they don't say anything. And their response was, well, we don't do that. You need to stay out of those rooms. We don't do that. But then I said, but you did do that. And then they kept saying, well, no, we love y'all, and and we're gonna stick up for you, and with Cowboy, we're gonna stick up for you. And they kept talking, so they kept making it about me. I don't need you to stick up for me. I need you to stick up for black men on a whole. They weren't getting. They kept directing it at me, and then they didn't want to talk about it anymore because they felt like, well, we already told you that we stick up for you, and so they kept making it about me. It's like, it's not about me. It's about the community. Are you going to stick up for the community? So it was like a dance around, and then I finally left the.
No, I would have too. Like this argument that black men don't protect black women. Do they know, like, it's situational? That situation they always bring up, the gas station situation. We don't. Let's say a woman get attacked by 3 men, not even attacked, get approached by 3 men. One of them trying to get their number, just the other 2 come along. We don't. If we come and protect a random black man, come and protect you, we don't know if them 3 men have a gun, a knife, or something else with them. And I end up getting killed. You get to go home happy as shit because you got saved. Now I lost my life. I can't go back home to my mom, whatever I had,
And that's the story that I always tell them when they talk. I say, first of all, black men do protect black women. Sounds like some white man made a narrative and y'all just believed it and went along with it. It's bullshit. But I would always tell the story of this, this cat in Boston where he saw a woman get hit by a man, and the last words out of his mouth was, "Ma'am, are you okay?" Because he didn't see, the brother that was sitting in the car. The brother of the man who struck the woman, he got out of the car, no words, and shot him in the back of the head. So it was like, "Ma'am, are you okay?" Dude gets out the car and shoots him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely.
So it's like, even if you carry a firearm or something like that, unless you rolling deep, you know what I'm saying? You can't just jump into those situations. And a lot of times, and this stuff isn't just in America. I was in the room last night, into the morning, and they were talking about it's going on in the UK. It was a mostly UK room. And there was a similar situations going on where, men would get involved with some kind of conflict. They would see a woman black woman being attacked or something like that, and then a woman would turn around and lie to the cops and say that the savior was actually the attacker. You see what I'm saying? So you can lose your freedom over some bullshit because you tried to protect some stranger. So this whole narrative. And one woman actually said that, because when she was talking about protection, she was talking about white supremacy and stuff. And so when I started talking about, getting killed and stuff, she said, well, some people are going to have to die. And I say, yes, so you expect us black men to die for you? You know what I'm saying? Which I'm like, and for what? I was like, you got to be kidding me. I said, if you're going to say some people have to die, you have to be willing to die yourself. And she wasn't willing to. She talked all this pro-black stuff, but it's like, you're not willing to die for the cause. You expect the black man to die for the cause, which, is a stupid strategy anyhow, because if you don't have men in your community, you're not fighting any fight. Let's be real, and women outnumber men. So you should be making sure we're protected so that we can be there to defend you. But realistically, it seems to a lot of these black women, we're just cannon fodder, for their causes, and then they just feel like we'll just get a new one. You know what I'm saying?
For real. I think that's what kept me out of a relationship for 4 years. It's like, damn, am I really appreciated, my guy? Like, what am I here for if I'm just going to be replaced at any second? Like, I say, I'm a psychology major. I know a person can change his or her mind every day and wake up, or it could change 5 years down the line. What's going to happen to me then?
Yeah, and that's something that I'm dealing with. I mean, you're talking about 5 years, and dude, it was like it's like 12, yeah, about 12 years. 12 years later, you know what I'm saying? That it was, change up, that was just, it got so bad, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just, yeah, and, relationships are a risk no matter what, but, you try to, you want to be able to assess those risks as good as possible and make a decision. But, man, it's real risky. And, like, now that I'm back out in the dating market, I'm like, yo, this shit's fucked up, Because we have social media, I can see these opinions that have always existed that I didn't know about. And speaking to my father, who's, he's like in his mid-80s, and he said it was the same thing back when he was in his 20s. So this ain't, this ain't new shit. This is something that's been going on in the black community for a very long time with how our women do us, the majority of them, I should say, And so I think it's just kind of come to light more. And a lot of people don't like Kevin Samuels, male and female, but Kevin Samuels is the one that really shined the light on it and really gave black men, like, the permission they needed to speak up about what we want and don't want.
True, because we like he say, we don't have no black men talking to black men on TV, and I can agree to that because the only black men that are on TV is Steve Harvey. That's all I see and Tyler Perry. And you can see, if you know Steve Harvey, he had married 3 or twice. He cheated on his first wife, his second wife, I think, left him. So, and now the wife he has is like, he's pandering just to show her that he's not gonna cheat or he's doing something, I don't know what. And that's just really fucked up.
Yeah, the black women follow that Steve Harvey nonsense, man. Especially my generation, dude. I used to work for AT&T down here in Georgia. I moved from Boston, and I was going into these black women homes, putting in their stuff, and I'd see them Steve Harvey books, and I just bust out laughing. And they were like, "What's so funny?" I'm like, "Them Steve Harvey books." I'm like, you sitting here single in a brand new house that you bought, and still single, no ring on your finger, and you got them Steve Harvey books. It's like, you really think those books are helping you out? It's like, that man is making money, and he's pandering to you. If he was really trying to help, he would give the books away for free. He's got the money. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And so the black churches, it's the same problem. It became a place that panders to the women who are in those churches, and so black men pulled away from the black church. So we've got a lot of, in any place where we see pandering, towards, we just like, let me back out of here because you guys are just make us the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? And you won't address any of our issues or our complaints.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like that book Hero, Think Like a Man, Act Like a Lady. I ain't read it, but just the title of it, I just know what the book was about. He was just basically telling black women the bad parts of the bad guys in the black neighborhood. He wasn't saying nothing about the good guys. Like, I don't believe in good guy, bad guy, but it's this quote that I saw: a good guy or a bad guy, a bitch gonna be a bitch. I don't know what to call it.
I mean, that was something I pointed out too, as far as like when guys want to date out and stuff. Sometimes they'll say, I could tell when guys haven't dated anybody except black women, and they'll say white women do this and they do this and black women don't do, and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, have you ever dated like a white woman? Have you dated an Asian woman? Like, because if you haven't, you gotta shut up. Stop making comparisons. It's like, because at the end of the day, women are women. And yes, culturally, there are women who are going to do different. They're going to do things differently. They're not going to cuss you out in public. They're not going to put their hands on you. There's a lot of things. But especially with white American women, man, they could be just African American women. You know what I'm saying? And the only way you would know that is if you dated them, you know? But it's like, at the end of the day, it's like they're going to get on your damn nerves because you're a man and they're a woman, and it's just going to be certain things that that's going to be like, Jesus Christ, this woman's getting on my nerves. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a woman who is, you know, who learned how to be a wife, it just makes a big difference when it comes to marriage. You know? It's just it's night and day. And I think that's the major thing that's missing from the African American community is these women have learned how to be the men that they want. They didn't learn how to be a wife. And so they come at men the same way a man comes to a woman. I got a house, I got a car, I got a degree, I'm making money, you know, and you're just like, hey, I don't give a shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is not why I walked over here to talk to you. That's not why I asked you on a date because you had a car and money. You know? It's crazy.
Well, for real. This conversation made me want to make a room. I just follow you, big bro. I'm in Atlanta too. I just moved here 2 Tuesdays ago. Been on here since June last year, just hearing this.
Well, you say you just moved to Atlanta?
Yeah, I just moved from Alabama. I've been coming here my whole life, but finally living here at 24 and able to do the things that I saw my older cousins and my older brother do. Now I'm finally able to do that. I'm scared.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the marriage thing?
Oh no, yeah. Like none of my older cousins are married. They're all single, and I think all my older cousins are in their 40s now. Yeah, 40s. Oh shit, they get old. My older brother is 13 years older than me. Yeah, he's 46, 45 now. That's how old all of my cousins are. My youngest cousin is 39, just about to turn 39 this year. So it's like, damn. Are we doing the right thing by not getting married, or like we following the family line? Because I say I only got one auntie that's married for real. One auntie, my mom's sister. That's the only one that I've seen married. No, wait, I got one auntie that's married. Been married since I was a baby, and that's the only marriage I've actually seen survive.
You know, I think there's two people that should be involved, or two types of people that should be involved before people get married. Is like somebody to deal with, you know, a psychologist for like couples therapy. You know what I'm saying? And an attorney. You know, men need to go speak to an attorney and just really like get their questions answered. You know, about, you know, how things move, because that's going to give you peace of mind. You know, prenups and all that stuff. You know, every time you mention it in Clubhouse, these chicks were talking about, you ain't got shit, you dusty niggas, this, that, and the third. And it's like, well, if I don't have shit, then sign the damn prenup. I mean, really. You know what I'm saying? How does it make any sense that you claim I don't have shit, but you don't want to sign the prenup? You know? So prenups, postnups, all that stuff is important. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I think that should, you know, anything that's going to set you on a path to be able to hold on to what you built, you know, because that's what we're doing. We as men, we build this stuff up so that we can start a family. You know, that seems to be how we do it now. In the old days, we build with the woman, but now the women want us to already have stuff. It's like, okay, so let me get stuff, you know, so I can attract these women, but you got to be able to protect yourself, and there's legal ways to do that. And I say that if you do want to get married, you know, definitely go that route, you know, and don't allow no pushback when it comes to signing those papers. You feel me?
I learned that from Steven Jackson. I definitely know that's what. Yeah, he tried to get his wife to sign the prenup. She ain't signed it until the day of the wedding. You know, the only reason she signed it because he was about to cancel the wedding right there that day. He had money. He a professional basketball player, so it wasn't shit to him. I think I learned prenups when I was a kid, and then they just stopped teaching it. Like a lot of stuff that y'all had as kids, the dare lion, what else y'all had? A lot of stuff ended with my generation. I think the dare had ended probably 2008. I heard about dare in 2006. That was my 3rd grade year. After that, it got canceled. You had a lot of stuff that y'all had that just stopped. I don't know why they stopped or who stopped it. But that's why a lot of people started just thinking like this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that woman, she probably planned that though, because, if there's a divorce, she's going to try to claim, her attorney's going to try to claim that the prenup was signed into duress because, it got forced on her on the day of the wedding, So I wouldn't even let it get to no day of no wedding. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not going to be under duress. You're going to sit here, you're going to go through your attorneys, and either you agree with it or you don't. You see what I'm saying? And if you don't agree, no marriage.
Yeah, most definitely. And he was like, the story is like, it's on YouTube and all. He was like, his mom went and talked to her mom went and talked to her. A bunch of people just talked to her, tried to get her to sign it. Never did until the date of the wedding. I don't know what made her change her mind, but I know it wasn't under that risk thing of, I guess women just be like, for me, I know my generation. The only reason I'm not getting married is because most women in my generation is like, they're smart, very smart, so they know how to finesse, and they see what they can get out of certain men. If my generation opt out of getting married, most women would legit start just actually get married for love and shit. If I got a house and that house burned down, what you gonna do, baby girl? You just gonna move on already? Damn, that hurt. Because men actually do love. I know in my generation, men actually do love. Because I'm talking to a girl now I actually love. I ain't had butterflies since I was goddamn 19. That shit is weird. But I am also cautious because I know what women are and know what they are capable of.
I mean, my generation loves too. Like, dudes talk a lot of talk. You know what I'm saying? And unless you're really close to them, they don't. My generation, unless you gotta be like real close to these cats. And for them to talk about any kind of love stuff, that they have with their women, and still there's a lot of them still don't talk about it. I can tell by their actions, what's going on. Like my man, he's been with this Filipino chick for a grip. But he doesn't want to admit that he cares for this woman. He want to try to keep like this pimp attitude, and I'm just like, dude, you're not tricking me, you're not fooling me. I know what it is. So, I think that men, in general, that love is always there with us. You know what I'm saying? And that's what turns one chick doing something grimy is what turns dudes, into these uncaring people. You know what I'm saying? Because what happens is we fall for the stories that other men have written. Like the most successful romance novels have been written by men, to the point where at one point in time, a woman putting her name on a romance novel, like women wouldn't buy it unless it was written by a man, and that's when you start getting these authors. They start using these pseudonyms and stuff, so they can sell their books. So chivalry and all that stuff, we created that stuff. The romance and stuff, men created that. We created that ideal, and so as American boys, that's what we see on TV, and then we approach a relationship like that, and not knowing that these chicks are not like that. They are grimy. You know what I'm saying? And they treat men like we have zero feelings, and it's okay to fuck us over as long as they get what they want. You know what I'm saying? And like women, it's a grimy world. They're grimy out there in America. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I think the best relationships I've had are with older women. My first time being with older women when I was 18 to 19. Fresh out of high school or fresh in high school, I forgot. That was the best relationship I had because she actually communicated. And now that I start back dating women my age, it's like, damn, shorty, you have common sense anymore? Or is that just like a joke? You just have knowledge? You don't got people.
Yeah, truth and communication are important. Communication is important in any kind of relationship, whether it's a business relationship, personal relationship, any relationship. Communication is important, and there has to be truth in that communication. So if you got people lying within the relationship, then that communication is useless because you're not telling the truth. So, a lot of women. My mother told me when because she's from, my parents are from Georgia, but they're from small towns. So when my mother got to Boston, she said the women up there were, telling her she needed to have an ace in the hole. When my mother was dating, but my mother was like, ace in the hole, like, what's that? And all these women were talking about some dude, whether they friend zoned the dude or whatever it was, but they always had this dude where it's like, okay, if this guy fucks up, I'm gonna run over to this guy. You see what I'm saying? And so there's a lot of women to this day that still live their life like that. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why when you see the breakups happen, you see them instantly with another guy, and you're just like, what the fuck just happened? You see what I'm saying? Because she had that guy on hold, and as soon as there was a breakup, she called that dude. Oh, what you doing? You with somebody, you know what I'm saying? She got a string of dudes. So it's just like, these women who are entering the relationship with a lie in the first place, like that relationship is not going to be successful. Because a lot of times they think they can always just bounce over to these guys. And, and these guys are like, I'm only available for sex. I ain't available to be in a relationship or marry you. And then they realize, like, oh, I fucked up, with the man who really wanted to be with me,
Oh, yeah. I went through that twice. Both girls were my age, I think. First girl, after I don't know what to call it. It was just college. I really did like her because she liked me during high school. That I guess you can call it high school sweetheart because I met her during high school. But after we stopped dating, she got pregnant. Exactly a year after we stopped dating, she got pregnant by a white guy that already had 2 kids. And I was like, damn. And then after like a few years, I started dating another girl. She left me for a guy that worked at Sonics with her, and I had my own apartment and everything, about to buy me another one because I had that sign under the college, but I wanted my own. But it's like, damn, shorty, y'all left me because of what? That shit just hurt. Because I don't do that. I don't keep one in a hole because that's too much emotions to deal with if you cut one of them off for another.
Yeah, see, that whole mindset is bizarre. And then she'll get later on in her life when she can't switch around no more, when dudes ain't really looking for her, and she'll realize she's fucked up, whether she tells the truth about that. Because a lot of these women on Facebook, on Clubhouse, they realize they fucked up. They don't tell the truth. They'll just jump on here and talk about how black men ain't shit, But if you really dig down, you'll find out that no, you was with a black man who was shit, and you ruined that. You fucked that up.
Yeah, for real. The second one really messed me up because I did my best. I did everything good. People did warn me about her, how she was foolish, but I didn't believe it because I fell in love with her personality and who she was. But I did see the hole in her after she left and all that. And just like, damn, shorty, you really falling down the hole of being a hoe. That's sad. And then the first girl, like I said, she got a baby by a white guy. That was her first baby. She wanted it with me for real. It's supposed to be my kid. No, it's just like, damn, shorty, you out here a single mother for real, for real. And it wasn't by a black guy, so let me know.
Yeah, picture that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, where's that white man that's supposed to come and save y'all? You know what I'm saying? And that's how I teach, so these black women be like, we could just get with white men. And it's like, white men will fuck you, but most of them are not going to marry you. That's just not going down. You're not dealing with your bullshit. They think they're going to be like this damn, this judge they're trying to get into Supreme Court with her white husband. It's like, yeah, okay. You keep thinking like that. You know what I'm saying? So, as far as like, these chicks be out here tricking, not making, they're not, and it's like, it just boggles the mind. I've dealt with prostitutes, that will treat a man better than these chicks. And these chicks will look down on a call girl. I'm like, the call girl is actually making money doing what she's doing. So what the fuck are you doing when you're just sleeping around? You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're supposed to be in a relationship. You see what I'm saying? Like, you meet a call girl, you meet a girl in that profession, if you tell them that, hey, I want you to be a wife and I'm going to take care of shit, but you got to stop doing this, you won't have to worry about them cheating. They're not going to be sleeping with no other dudes, and that's what's fucking odd. It's like, how come the woman who's in the sex industry can step away from that industry to be with a man, but y'all can't stop running around just giving out free pussy? I mean, I don't get it.
Yeah, that's like the girl I'm with right now. She used to be like that. She just turned 22. She said, I'm really tired of being like that street girl. She wasn't a big street girl. Let's just say that she went through her whole phase. I'm gonna say that because she's still young. She went through her whole phase. Her whole phase made her tired as shit. And I was like, you from Dallas, baby girl. You know all them Dallas niggas are tricks. Why are you so loyal to me? And I'm not a trick. I'm like, I put her through a test. I sent her $20 just to see what she was going to do. Is she going to take it and run, or she was going to appreciate it? She actually sent it right back to me. And that shit shocked me. That means she's in here for me. I ain't even like, that's weird to me. And I'm scared to like really go on.
Yeah, I mean, how much you said? $20?
Yeah.
And it ain't no real money, man. She, I mean, not to sound negative, she could be in it for the long haul. You know what I'm saying? So you just never know. You just gotta pay attention. And you know what I'm saying? And you try to judge people by their actions, and you do the best you can. But the way that our families used to do it in the old days is our parents would meet her parents. And so by seeing how those parents treated each other and seeing how they were with each other, that's how, our parents were able to tell, okay, you can marry this woman. You know what I'm saying? And instead of us doing, when we self-get, that is very tough because, when we're into a person, even when we see things that are wrong, we'll make excuses. We'll make excuses for those red flags, and that's what I did. I made excuses for some of the red flags that I saw, and I thought I could make things work out, and I make things work out longer. I never married the chick, but that was a financial decision, because it would have made things very complicated, to try to start my business and other things. But I'm glad I didn't. I think subconsciously I saw a lot of things, and again, I thought I could make them work. I think subconsciously it was like, do not marry this chick. You know what I'm saying? Everything you're working for is going to get fucked up. Because she would make a lot of decisions behind my back without, discussing it with me. Financial decisions like buying a car. I'm like, there's 2 vehicles in the driveway. You just added a third. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, why didn't you speak to me about it first? You know? But she had this, like, feminist attitude that she didn't have to. But she wasn't paying the bills. I was paying all the bills. So the only reason she was able to afford that car is because I was paying for everything the fuck else. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, this girl that I'm talking to is Nigerian. This is my first time talking to somebody that's not Black American. And she told me Nigerian women are used to being taken care of and all that. But she liked me enough to where, I don't know what to call it. I hate calling it 50-50. She likes me enough to work with me. And that's weird coming out of a Nigerian or African woman that's used to being taken care of, or seeing a woman being taken care of mouth. And
I don't know what she talking about. Nigerian women getting taken care of.
like, you know how they be like, some women be like, some women didn't have to work; they just be in the house, blase, taking care of the house. That's what
She ain't telling those fucking stories. You know? Do you know a lot of Nigerian people?
No, I know a lot of Western Africans.
Yeah. So yeah, just be careful, but because you know I've had African women, you know, Nigeria, Ghana, wherever, tell me, you know, their little stories like, well, this is what the men do here, and this is what the men do, and I was like, yeah, but here you are in America, you know, you fucking with me. And it's like, you know, but I like, don't tell me them lies, and I know they're lies, you know. I know what's going on over there because I got friends who are from there. So I got friends who are from Nigeria, you know. And yeah, when the men have money, they'll take care of these women. But most of the men in Nigeria, I mean, as wealthy as the country itself is, you know, compared to other African countries, most of that money is not just filtering down to the people. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, if she's trying to make it seem like she can just kind of, if she's talking about being a wife and being a housewife, and she's going to be a real wife, you know, obviously that's understandable because, you know, if she's going to be a housewife, she's going to be a housewife. But if she thinks that you're supposed to just pay for everything and she kind of kick back and don't do shit, you know what I'm saying? So you definitely got to make sure of what she means by being taken care of.
Oh yeah, I broke it down and everything, but she knows she's in America where that don't work, because I broke that down too. Baby girl, you gonna have to work. The value of a dollar, hold on, you bring my sister Philly up, she's really good minded, but I told her in America, the value of a dollar is $1.35. The dollar always rises every 5 years based on the economy. You gonna have to work. Everybody's gonna have to work, no matter if you're a man or a woman. Most women that do get taken care of are from men that are like 80 something and 70 something that's been working since 1985 or something, 1990 something. You know what I mean? And that's
well, no, not really. Most of those men they just make good money, you know. And a lot of the trades, they make enough money. Even a truck driver, you know. I mean, most people don't know how much truck drivers, you know, can make. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, even like the truck drivers, they'll make $85 to, you know, like $98,000 a year. You know, telecommunications, you know, those guys make a lot of money. Even guys who work for cable companies, the phone companies, all these broadband companies. So yeah, you know, these guys make enough money so their wives don't have to work. You know, but most American women don't know this, you know. And so, especially a union job, you can forget about it. You know, union guys make money. You know, but yeah, it's like one of those things where you definitely got to be you know, and it's good that you're up front. Like, look, I expect you to work. You know, because, you know, we need to be able to sustain and build. I mean, things may change. You may start making a ton of dough, you know what I'm saying, where she really doesn't have to work. But you have to make it clear, too, that if I climb to a point where you don't have to have a job, you still need to focus. You need to focus on this house. Because if you're both working, my assumption is both of you will cook and clean. You kind of trade off, because you can't be working a full-time job and then just doing it all at home also. So you'll have to trade off, and you'll have to share in that workload. But if you start making enough money where she doesn't have to work and she's going to be home, it's like I'm not going to hire a maid, when your ass is at home. Because if I got to hire a maid, I might as well marry the maid. You know what I'm saying? So as long as she knows what her wifely duty is going to be when she's not working, I think you'll be all right.
Most definitely. I fuck with you. It's older people on here just really make me mad. Now that I got a steady man that does really think like how a man should think at this new era. Just thank you, bro.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, most dudes they don't appreciate it, man. But most of the guys I run into on this app, they're like in their 30s. They're not my age. But most of my friends, outside the app, like my personal friends, they're older. Male and female friends are older. So I got a lot of knowledge from them. You know what I mean? And so I just, I pay attention, and I talk to a lot of different people. Talk to my father a lot. My father says that I remind him of my grandfather, who I never met. He had passed away before I was born. You know what I mean? But my father's proud of the man I became, so I'm just like, I roll with that. People have their opinions and stuff, man, and all that negative stuff, man. Is like, water off a duck's back, because I know when I start speaking the truth, real people will listen. And people who have traumas or whatever, they're not going to want to listen. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is.
True. But yeah, I'm probably finna think something through and make a room. Just call, what is the value of black men to black women? And just to hear thoughts. So I appreciate that.
All right, man. No problem.
I have a good day.
All right. You too.
Alright, so let's do the butterfly on that one thing. We'll move that over to where we just swept.
Hey, Steve, you still there?
Light tight. Okay.
I'm about to boom this.
It's not the same way I'm going to talk to him, no matter what's going on. So when I speak to him about the tone, I'm like,
is the vacuum back there?
Right now at 8 o'clock, it's hard for me.
The vacuum back there?
I'm supposed to be warm and open to you, because you just offended me. Because all in the name of manhood, and now I'm supposed to be warm and accepted. That's not how it's going to go. We have to be able to talk. You have to be able to understand. Okay, if I feel some type of way, all right, maybe I didn't mean it that way, but the X, Y, Z, and I think that would be a healthy balance. If we want to move away from tone policing.